Hey everyone, it is Lori Cooch. Today I want to show you a fun little snowflake card that we're going to make using the Holly Jolly paper from Close to My Heart. And then we're also going to be using, let me show you right here, the shaker window and confetti thin cut die. We're not making a shaker card, but we're going to use these two, this one that's stitched and this one is just the circle that would make for the shaker, and this has a 2.5-inch circle. So what we're going to use in Design Space, we're going to use it at 2 inches so that it will fit inside this circle here. So if you're wanting to get this die, there'll be a link to it below the video. But it's item number Z like zebra 4309. It's $21.95. It's really versatile. I've had this die for a while and I've used it quite a bit. And if you're not familiar with the shaker cards, just throw this out there real quick. This will cut the perfect circle for your shaker card, and then this will cut to give you a cute little stitch overlay. Then you can cut these stars and hearts for inside your shaker. But then Close to My Heart also has the shaker window foam and acetate, which see this circle right here? It is the perfect size to fit around what you cut for your circle, so that you'll have that perfect enclosed circle that's puffed up that'll fit your circle that you cut with your die to give you the window to shake. And then it has the acetate that's also the perfect size for that already. So just a few little tips. But again, we're not doing a shaker card today. I'm sitting here shaking my hands like, no, we're not, and you can't even see them. So I'm just being strange. But anyway, we're going to come over here to Design Space, and I want to search for an image on, let me go back to here so you can see when you first click on images, it's going to bring up all the images in Design Space. I want to find a specific cartridge, and it's a Close to My Heart cartridge. So I'm going to click on that cartridge tab there, and then I'm going to type in Close to My Heart. Now, if you don't own, well, that's not true now. This cartridge that we're going to use, if you don't own it or purchase it through my link that I will share with you, you won't see it in Design Space. But all these other ones, they will show up for you. I would just ask that if you were to purchase one, if you could please click one of my links to get to it, then I could earn a small commission on that and it doesn't cost you anymore. Otherwise, you can just click right in Design Space and purchase it right there. But the Complete Creativity cartridge is our newest one, and it's exclusive to consultants for the first 12 months. So you won't see this one in your Design Space unless you click my link and make that purchase to get that. So that's what we're going to use. And these are all the images that are in here. And I just saw something else instead of what I was going to use. What I was going to use was this snowflake right here. But we're going to come up here. I like some of these snowflakes better, I think. So I'm just going to click on it. It's going to put the green strip box around it. You're also going to see it down here. That shows you when you hit insert what you're going to be putting on your mat. So like I could click a bunch of things, and these are showing you all the things that are going to show up on my mat. Now I don't want these other ones, so I'm just going to click that little red X on them and take them out of my mat. So when I hit insert, it's going to bring in that Ho 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 card. And how cute are these snowflakes? I think these are the ones I want to use. So I don't want anything other than the snowflake. So I'm going to ungroup. So right now when it came in, you'll see it's got the binding box around it. I'm going to just click ungroup on that. And now I can click on this envelope. Don't need it. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to move this out of the way. Get rid of that. There's some snowflakes. And I don't want the Ho Ho Ho. And there's, ooh, that's all one piece. That's okay. So I don't want that. And I do really like this snowflake right here. So I'm going to get rid of this one. And then these are all grouped together. And see, I can't ungroup them, so this is one set of things. They're not attached, they're not grouped. So what I can do for that is I can come down here to contour and get rid of the ones that I don't want. So I can click on that one that I don't want it. And which one do I want to use? I know that one I don't want. I think I like that one. Do you like that one? I think I like that one. So we'll just get rid of all of these other things. You have to click all of them, all the little pieces on it. So we're just going to contour these out of our image. And then when we go back to our mat, we're only going to be left with the one snowflake. And we can see that we have all that because it's the only one that is left, not shaded in. So now you just click off of it and we have the one snowflake. Now it's not perfectly symmetrical. So the width is 0.719 and the height is 0.804. So knowing that I want to stay within that 2.5 inch window, I want the biggest part to be 2 inches. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to duplicate it because we're going to want a front and a back. Now, because you want a front and a back, this image, it appears to be identical on both sides. But if it wasn't, like say you had an odd shaped, so you can do this with other things, something that was odd shaped where it wasn't the exact same thing over here that it is over here, you would then of course want to flip it. So then when it cuts, it's going to cut the reverse. Now you can double check that this is going to line up by putting it on there. Now see how this doesn't line up? So this is the perfect example. It's not perfectly symmetrical. So I'm going to just rotate this 180 degrees, which is upside down. And then, ooh, we're still not lining up, but I can make it line up by just tilting it a little bit. So we're going to be fine when we put this back to back. Okay, perfect. The other option is to cut one face up and then cut another one, put your paper upside down and cut it upside down. But if you're using Design Space, you can do it this way. If you're using thin cuts, then you would want to do it with put your paper upside down on one. So I'm going to send this to my maker and then we will continue this video on my desktop instead of on my computer. Thanks. Okay, so we just cut with our maker the little snowflakes we're going to use, and they're going to end up going back to back like that, but I'm not ready to put those together yet. And initially I had actually cut out the sugar plum ones, but I just didn't think they were going to have the same effect as the white ones on the green or the red paper that we're going to be using. So I changed my mind and went with the white ones. So I set those aside. Now I'm using Holly Jolly paper, and I've pre-cut them to fit our card front of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So those are going to fit right on. Ooh, that one did not get cut the right size, and neither did that one. So, hey, we're going to cut some paper. Gotta love making videos and making mistakes. So I have the bulk paper. Now, you wouldn't be able to get paper like this. I've got a whole pack of, it's the red and then the green on the back, because this is a bulk pack that consultants can get. So when you buy your Holly Jolly paper, they probably won't be on, you know, this piece with that color on the back. So I'm going to just cut this real quick, 4 1/4. By 5 1/2. So get rid of the 2 short ones. Okay, so now I have my paper. So the first thing we're going to want to do is put them on our card. And I'm thinking I'm going to go the green on the front with the red on the center or on the inside, and then the black. So that'll be how it's layered. But I don't want to put anything down yet except for this front piece. Now, we're gonna do some thin cutting with this. So I'm just gonna kind of go around where I'm gonna have my circle cut from my thin cut. And put it down. Now, there's another piece I've pre-cut. We're gonna cut another one though. Is I used the stitched die on this set, and we're gonna want 2 of them, so I only have 1 here. But the reason I have 1 is I wanted to show you that if I use, let me bring these over here, the big circle to cut my circle, this is gonna just fit right inside of it. And now let me show you, because I did one. So here's one I did, but the circle fits inside of it instead of over the top of it, and I want it to fit over the top. So I'm actually going to use this one that will cut confetti too. Don't need the confetti, but it's gonna fit inside of this die, and my snowflakes are still gonna fit inside the center of it. So this will make sense in a minute when we actually cut it. So on our card front is where I want to cut this hole. So I just need to put it roughly where I want it. And now you want to make sure you have room up at the top. I'm hoping you can see this. Up at the top here, because you're going to need to do some hiding on the inside with some embellishing thread. So move it down a little bit, eyeball your center, or if you're one of those measuring kind of people, you can measure. It's just eyeball it. So I'm going to just use some washi tape to stick this down. Be careful not to tear your paper. Typically it doesn't, but I have had it do that. I got a hair in there. That's not going to matter, but it's going to bother me. There. So now I'm going to take my Cuttlebug plates. I learned something at the Scrapbook Expo this weekend that I'm going to share with you. It's not going to matter for what we're doing today because of it being a circle, but see how my mat is just warped? It's just crazy warped. And I had a lady at the Scrapbook Expo tell me that if you put your dies in at an angle so that it's not hitting it all at one time, it helps with that warping. But again, this is a circle, so not a whole lot you can do with that. So I don't want it to cut through both pieces of my card, just one. So I'm going to lay it down on my mat, open up, and then put the sandwich together, and then grab my Cuttlebug and run it through. Now I'm going to run it through twice because we're going through 2 layers. You're going through my paper layer and my card base layer. So I'm going to just run it through a couple of times just to make sure it gets a good clean cut. One would probably do the trick, but I'm just the overkill, I guess. Now if it didn't cut because it's taped, not a big deal, but it cut right through our card. If we wanted the little stars, they're right there. And then it cut through this piece as well, which is exactly what we wanted to have happen. And now I'm going to gently remove my washi tape so that I don't tear my paper. And I'm going to stick it off to the side to reuse it because we have to cut the inside piece as well. Ooh, I thought I ripped my paper. Here's a little trick. See the little pieces in there? You can take your Cricut tool and just pop them out. Or I've heard a toothbrush will get them out as well, but there's not a whole lot here, so I'm just gonna use my Cricut tool. I do have a toothbrush up there that I bought just for that purpose. Now, we do need to cut the inside piece, and we want it to be in, you know, the circles to line up. And so we don't want this to move. So I'm going to put just a little bit of adhesive on here to hold it in place, but we're going to be removing it, so you don't want to go crazy with your adhesive and then get it stuck down forever, because you are going to want to remove this piece. And then to get it to cut in the exact same place, you're just going to take your, I'm going to just put it back on here, your template, your die, and stick it right inside that hole. It will line right up and give you the same exact cut on the other side. And our washi tape to hold it in place. I have so much washi tape and I constantly forget to use it. I end up using it on stuff like this. Whatever works, right? And you're just going to cut it again. And this one is only going through one layer, and it's a thinner piece of paper layer, not a cardstock layer. So I'm only going to run it through the one time. Not done yet. We still have to do one more cut and remove our washi. Some people just leave washi tape on their dies like this. They just take it off and leave it on there. That would be fine too, if that's what you wanted to do. So now our hole is there. Ooh, let's do the toothbrush thing. Let's see if that's better. Let's see. Yep, works just as well. So if you have one that has a whole bunch of little tiny pieces, grab a toothbrush. It'll just fit right in those holes. This we're not going to need because I just cut it out. You could save it if you wanted to use it for something else. Same with all the little stars. They tend to just stick to my desk, evidently. And our last piece is we're going to be cutting one more of these little circles. See how perfect that fits over that? So you're going to get just a little edge, and that will be fine. So I'm just going to put my cardstock and the Cuttlebug one last time. If it creaks and pops and makes all kind of noise, that's fine. You're not breaking anything. Now, if you wanted, we do have circle thin cuts that will actually fit over this perfectly. I'm fine with the little gap. I think it gives it a little bit of just a little bit more dimension, and that's totally fine with me. So I'm going to just put this on here. I like that little green lip inside. Some people probably don't. I like it, so I'm gonna go with it. So I'm just gonna take some liquid glue. If you have liquid glass, that would be perfect. This is just what's right here on my desk and handy. And put it in here. And if you smear it around a little bit and it shows when it's wet, that's okay. Because it'll dry clear. I really like that little green inside there. I do. I don't know, I just do. But our circle thin cuts would give you the perfect little edge, and you wouldn't have that edge if that bothers you, but I like it. So now we're going to focus on the inside. And this is where you need to remove this. So remember, we didn't tack it down to be permanent. And you're going to need some embellishing thread. And you're going to take probably, I would go, so you could double it. Okay. So I'm just going to double it up and twist it a little bit to make it stay. It's not gonna stay, but it will be okay for now. We will get it to stay when we're ready for it. So our next thing we're going to do is take our pretty little snowflakes, and I'm gonna run the embellishing thread right down the center of it. And to do that, I'm going to take my glue again, and I'm going to put it all the parts, all around the edges, because I want it to stick like it's all one snowflake front and back. Again, don't go overkill, but if it smooshes out, it's going to be fine. And then I'm going to put a little extra right in the middle where my embellishing thread is going to run. And I'm going to lay it in there. Okay. I want it to stay right where I have it. And then I'm going to put the top of the snowflake right on over top of it and smoosh it down. Liquid glue, it's a little forgiving, so you're able to line this up before it totally dries. You're going to see just a smidge of your embellishing thread going through, and that's okay. Just get this to glue to stick down. Now the next thing, you can use your adhesive. I'm going to use glue dots because they tend to allow this embellishing thread to just suck right into it. So I'm going to just pick up some glue dots off of my thing here and put them right up on above it and below my circle on the inside of my card. That one got a little bit bubbled. That's okay. So I'm going to just use a couple of them. The bottom one is not working for me. I'm going to then center my snowflake in the middle of my circle. I'm going to pull it tight and push it into those glue dots. You really, really, really want it in the glue dot, so it's not going to move. And if you're using adhesive, use a lot. I normally don't tell you to use a lot, but in this case I'm going to tell you to use a lot. So now I'm going to take another glue dot and put on top of each, just so it's stuck in there and it's smooshed down into the glue and it's not going to move. Again with the bottom one getting all mangled. Push it in, push it in, push it in. Make sure it is stuck in your glue. You do not want it coming loose, because then your cute little twist is not going to stay fun and twisty. Now if you have extra hanging out the bottom, you can cut it. You can put some adhesive on it and stick it in there so that it's hidden. You're not going to see it because your other piece is going to go right over the top of it. Just make sure it's in your glue really, really tight. So now is where we're going to put our centerpiece down on the inside of our card. So we're going to take a circle in here and we're going to do that. Again, I'm using liquid glue and I let it dry on my tip. And if you were using the acetate foam squares to make a shaker card, this is the part that you would be putting the acetate on to hold it up. Well, your acetate would actually be on your foam tape and then this would be on that, but you get the idea. So on this side, you're going to have a little red border, where on the front side we had the green border. Then we're going to take our last piece, and you could leave this open if you want, so that it is on the white. I'm going to put I think the black, but I might change my mind. I don't know. I think that's a lot of black on a little white snowflake. So what about if we did some candy apple? Now if you know on the our zip strips, it tells you what colors coordinate with this piece of paper. So this one, it's black, which I had, candy apple, clover, espresso, glacier, green apple, smoothie, toffee, and white daisy. I'm in love with the candy apple, so I'm going to grab a piece of that. And I want to just look at it. So, ooh, I think that looks better, don't you? A little more Christmassy versus the black. Yeah, that's a little dark. I'm going to go candy apple, which means I then need to cut this piece of cardstock. See, you can change. Nothing is set until you've got it glued down. 4 1/4. Oh, and then on this, on the regular cardstock, it'd give you, you could write an embellishment, you could stamp, you could do whatever. It's a little harder to do on the glitter. 5 1/2. And let me show you something else. Our cardstock, if you did not know, has a dark side and a light side. So can you see the difference? Go this way. So this is the lighter, that's the dark. I'm going to go with the dark. So I'm going to put adhesive on my light and stick it right in there. I don't know if I got it too close to the line. There. It's not straight. try again. Okay. So there's our little spinner card. Your snowflake is going to spin around. And I hope I'm trying to get this thing, see it? I hope you like it. It's going to be really fun and festive. If you got or are going to get the whimsical holiday, there's some fun things in there. You could stamp December 25th. There's a tree you could put on the inside. Santa. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in there yet. You could even put like a piece of white cardstock on a tag. Do like the circle tag. Oh my gosh, guys, look at that. Let me... Oh, my book of thin cuts. Pretty sure I have the circle tag. Look, yeah, basic circle tags if you have those. Let me take them out so you can see them. Oh, I lost some in that process, but this bigger one would fit right with that December 25th stamp. You could put it right over the front. So lots of things you could do with that. So be creative. I don't know where I lost that other one. There it is. And show me what you do. Show me, you know, whatever you decide to create. Please share it with us here on the blog or the Facebook group or wherever you're watching me at, because we would love to see what you do. And I appreciate you guys so much for watching. If you are on the Facebook group, you can always follow me on my blog, which is Lori Cooch Crafts. So www.lorikutschcrafts.com. If you're already on the blog, you can follow me on Facebook, on YouTube. Facebook is, you know, Lori Cooch, independent, close to my heart consultant. And YouTube is just Lori Cooch. So there'll be links to all of these things below this video, both on Facebook, the blog, and on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful evening, and I can't wait to see what you do.